Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic the Scotsman, who is going to be the character reward in the next battle pass. He is also going to be part of the Outlanders, of course, with the Outlanders Mythic trial going on right now. This is the second Scotsman we've had in the game, and he kind of is keeping in line with the OG Scotsman. He's got the kilt on and stuff like that, but he's looking far more like tribal. He's got the headpiece on. He's got a massive weapon here. It is an attached weapon. We'll check that out later in the video. And he has some pretty nice kind of like accessories. He got like a deer head as well, just for the kicks. And on the left hand side, he's like in battle mode. He's got like the blue paint on his face, and we did sort of see the same sort of thing on Brutus. So it is kind of cool that they're kind of got the same kind of visuals kind of get up. I like that quite a lot. If we look at the stats on this character, he is level 1440 as a maxed out character on base level and lieutenants. He has got 27,066 attack, 23,200 defense, and 27,066 HP. He is a strong character. He has got the support role, mythic character of course, and he is going to be another character to join the Outlanders Allegiance, I believe, making it now the third fully released character to enter the game. 3 more to come. More information on those characters very soon. Now first up we'll look at his adrenaline rush, and it is called Bone Crusher. It is a 66 AP cost rush. Deal 500% damage to 2 enemies. Those enemies get minus 50% defense for 1 turn. So this is just basically a setup in my opinion. As much as it's doing reasonable damage, the 500% attacks are not too bad. The 50% defense down is huge, however, especially against some of these amazingly tanky teams right now. We're talking about like 100k plus defense. Bringing that all the way back down to 50k is going to be very nice indeed. Now this is going to be a little bit of RNG on the hits. The first hit you will be able to direct. The secondary hit will have a little bit of RNG. It will hit one of the remaining characters. Now, if he is teamed up with the Scotsman, you're going to have less risk on these sort of situations when it comes to paybacks and such. Now, this cannot proc any weapons or anything like that, so it's just worth noting this deals just flat percentage damage, and that means it also cannot crit. Okay, so we have got the adrenaline rush up of the Scotsman here, so we can just target some characters. We're going to target the person we're going to do trait damage against, which should do significant damage here, but it is only a 100% hit. He is more of a support character, like I say. It will take her out. And then the other character that did get hit on the RNG was Garrett, and you can see that big minus 50% defense. That means he's going to take significantly more damage now. So going over the upgrades on this adrenaline rush, you can see at grade 2 it gets +1 damage target. So initially it is only a single target rush, but it is only grade 2 to get this upgraded, so this is not a problem at all. At grade 4 is +1 defense down target. Again, it would only be initially 1 defense down target, then it goes to 2, but again, it's only grade 4. Very easy to come by. LB1 will be a bit different now. It will go from 75 AP down to 66, so you would be required to get 3 versions of this character to get to use them at 66 AP. That is a little bit disappointing, because I do believe on a battle pass, the free-to-play section is basically grade 5, and using a 75 AP character on an attack team will be pretty rough, honestly. Next up is LB3, and then it gets a minus 25% defense down boost. So initially it's going to be minus 25% defense to 2 characters, and then it will get boosted to minus 50% defense to 2 characters. So that is quite a significant leap on the LB3. Minus 50% defense against these really tanky teams right now is going to be really nice. The likes of Priya, the likes of Angel, you know, being able to take out these characters, minus 50% defense on Angel, even with a defense buff, means you're going to do pretty decent damage. So that's not going to be too bad if you team up the Scotsman with the right teammates. And the fact that he can hold some of the nicer weapons in the game, like Ransack and strong attacks, this is going to be even more useful potentially as a support character. So I think this rush is okay. I don't think it's going to be anything like super amazing. Obviously, some other things in this kit have to be pretty powerful, but this is just more of a support rush. It's hopefully not going to be too detrimental to people who do only get the grade 5 version that he is going to be 75 AP, because like I said, the rush is not hugely powerful, but it will be nice if you do this first and follow up with other damage dealers afterwards. So let's see what he's got going on in other parts of his kit, and of course next up we'll look at his signature move, and it's called Bloody Rage. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, Cooldown of 1 turn, number of uses unlimited. Deal damage equal to 25% of max HP to self to a minimum of 1 HP. Deal 300 damage to up to 2 enemies. So when it comes to the damage side of this, it's actually pretty good. 300% to 2 enemies on a signature move turn 1 is actually pretty decent. But the 25% of own HP to self, I think that'll basically take it off of bonus HP as well. So if he has got bonus HP, it will eat into that. This works a lot like Fast Tyrese. Tyrese used to do this on his signature move, and it used to be beneficial because it used to help for his specialist skill, which would in turn give him more AP for the next turn and his chance to actually get his adrenaline rush very quickly. The Scotsman is a leader, so hopefully it plays into parts of his passive, because on paper this doesn't look like it's going to be great, but it will potentially play into parts of his passives, and hopefully get some bonuses there. Now, I'm about to test out the signature move. Maybe we can notice what bonuses there is, if any, that he is getting from those passives on this loss of HP. Okay, so we are on turn 1. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to target the fast character, try and do some damage here. We'll do the signature move. He'll take the damage, as you saw, and he is back to full HP. I guess, oh, he did have bonus HP. That's just proof that it does take the bonus HP, and because he's with Clem as a leader, Clem actually gives 25% bonus HP, so he just ate all the bonus HP. That's actually pretty funny. But as you can see, he did do the signature move. He doesn't have anything seemingly happening to himself, but other things did happen to the enemy which weren't in that signature move. We see a couple of characters stunned. We'll have to check that out with the passives. I'm not sure if that's going to be because of him losing HP though, but because it didn't eat into the bonus HP, that might be why. He might actually have to lose actual HP to get bonuses. We'll read the passives in a second, but that's how the signature move works. It does a percentage of damage to 2 characters, and the 2 characters it did it to, I believe, were Garrett and to Maggie. You can see it's just going to eat into fast characters. He is a support character, so he's not going to be doing huge amounts of damage compared to damage dealers, but it is going to be a nice little bonus. And the fact that it's turn 1 and the extras that seemingly are coming on top, that's not too bad. So we'll look at the upgrades on this signature move, and you can see at grade 3 it gets -1 to cooldown, so it goes from a 2-turn cooldown down to a 1-turn cooldown. This is of course nice. Faster rotation, very nice indeed. At grade 5 it gets +1 to damage to enemy target. This does mean that initially I believe it would be a single target signature move of 300%, and then it goes up to the 2 targets of 300%. And then at limit break 2 it gets the -1 to starting cooldown, and then it will obviously go to from turn 2 down to turn 1. This is not too bad at all. It's nice to have it turn 2, but it's obviously much better to have it turn 1. Turn 1 is where you're going to get significant power boost getting this off very early, especially as we saw some control coming in with part of his passives, which we'll look at. So getting this up to turn 1 would be nice, but it's not like turn 2 is terrible in terms of how the AP will be basically coming in on this character. The biggest issue is the fact that the rush is so slow up until LB1. This character on paper so far is just kind of average. It really is going to come down to those passives. They have to be really heavy supporting passives that are going to boost his teammates, potentially boost characters within Outlanders, as we have seen this in passives before. And don't forget, he has got a leader skill, so we'll have to see. And for the passives, you can see that he is going to have cunning because he is a support character. This means he's less likely to proc weapons. It is very nice. It is also mean he is less likely to proc weapons when being attacked as well. Although you're probably not going to use this guy on the defense team as much by looking at his main kit. Now he has got a Outlanders actual passive here. It's called Outlanders Focus, kind of gives it away. At the start of each turn, 100% chance all Outlanders Allegiance teammates get focused for 1 turn. This obviously isn't determined by how many Outlanders characters there are. If there's 2 Outlanders characters in the team, it'll be those 2 characters that will get the boost from this passive. If there's just the Scotsman, it will be just the Scotsman, as we saw in previous clips. If it is an entire team, a 5-character team of Outlanders, everyone will have focus every single turn, which is really good because it stops you from being taunted and it stops you from being confused. Very powerful. It also allows you to bypass human shields at will. Now, it can't also be removed because the majority of focus removal happens on the enemy team's turn, and it will come back to your team's turn and it will just reapply all of the focus. So very nice passive indeed. The next one is called Best Friends. At the start of each turn, when this character's HP is 75% or less, Mythic Outlanders Brutus gets 200% attack for 1 turn. Okay, now we're kind of seeing it, and this is where bonus HP is actually not going to be beneficial. So you're not going to want anything that gives bonus HP. No bonus HP weapons like that. If you do have a bonus HP character, like a combat medic, you would want them to do their attack after the Scotsman does his signature move. So he's on 75% or less HP for the remainder of the fight, hopefully. And that way, 200% attack will go on Brutus. That is such a hefty boost. And that will boost all of Brutus's kit. Like, Brutus is pretty nuts. If you haven't checked him out, I have gone over him, and 200% attack boost is crazy. Next up, it's called Follow-Up Blow. When this character uses their signature move, 100% chance up to 2 enemies get stunned for 1 turn. This is kind of weird that it's not actually just in the signature move, it's on the passive. But I guess if it was in the signature move, there'd be so much going on there. There'd be minus 25% HP to self, 300% to 2 enemies, and 2 stuns. So I think that would be seen as like maybe too powerful than just the signature move itself. So you are going to have to upgrade it with your investment of resources to actually get that signature move boosted. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a terrible thing, and these mythic abilities have definitely cemented him as a much stronger character just based on the fact that he is a much nicer support character here. The focus is nice, especially to Brutus, that is crazy. So the 2-man team here is really cool. And then the follow-up blow is a nice little bonus. He's going to be nice for Conquest, he's going to be nice for Challenge Run, and this is also going to be nice, of course, in Raids and War. The fact that the turnaround on that signature is so quick, if you get him completely maxed out, it's 1 turn initial cooldown and then 1 turn cooldown. You're going to be doing almost every other turn. So he's going to be stunning 2 enemies every other turn. Very nice indeed. Okay, so if I start an attack here, you can see that both Brutus and the Scotsman have the focus for 1 turn, because at the beginning of every turn, he's going to apply it to all Outlanders characters, and they're both Outlanders. Now, I'll do the signature move of the Scotsman, and it will not buff Brutus straight away, because Brutus has to, it has to be at the beginning of the turn. But what I want to see is if I do an attack now with, let's say, Raulito, and I give bonus HP, does that count as the max HP? I'm hoping it doesn't here. I'm hoping it doesn't. We'll see. And then I'll just defend on the other 2 characters. Just notice as well that we did get 2 characters get stunned, but the characters that get stunned aren't necessarily the ones that you hit. I hit Maggie and I hit Claudio down the bottom with the signature move, and it was just a random other character that got hit. So he will take damage, but he definitely has over the 75%, but it is the 75% of his base HP, and then obviously he got healed after the initial. So you can see that as long as he takes off of his base HP on that signature move straight away, where he gets attacked at the beginning of his turn, it will take his HP into consideration, buff Brutus by 200%, and then the heals will come in, and it isn't noticing bonus HP. I think this works actually really, really well. So in this case, like, I would use my signature move. I didn't attack on the first turn, but I'd have my adrenaline rush. I could command, Brutus, and he'd just do his adrenaline rush with a massive boost. 200% damage boost is mind-boggling on Brutus. If you go and check out his video, like I say, his rush potentially can take out an entire team if it lands correctly. So we'll take a look at the passive upgrades, and you can see at grade 1 he gets the first half of Outlanders Focus, being 50% chance all Outlanders Allegiance members get the focus for 1 turn. At grade 2 he's going to get the first half of Cunning, that's going to be 15% chance. At grade 3 he gets the first half of Best Friends, so basically he's going to give 100% attack in that case. This is nice, it's not a chance for it to proc, he just gives a lower buff. I actually like that quite a lot. It's going to be good for people who do not get the Scotsman to, high limit breaks really quickly. That's very beneficial to boost your Brutus. At grade 4, he gets the first half of Follow-Up Blow, and that's going to be 50% chance that 2 enemies get stunned for 1 turn. At grade 5, he gets the second half of Outlanders Focus. So this is actually going to be slightly different than how they'd normally lay out the passives. A lot of the time it's grade 1 and grade 3 are the first 2 halves or something, so this isn't too bad at all. It's just interesting. Next up is going to be LB1, the second half of Cunning. LB2, the second half of Best Friends, stacking up to 200% total. And at LB3, it will be 100% chance to stun 2 enemies for 1 turn when using that signature move. So overall, I think his passives are very nice indeed. And while I didn't think his rush and his signature move was super powerful, they are still going to be able to do, you know, pretty decent things, especially how one of his passives actually works with that signature move, so he's buffing that signature move up quite a lot now. I'm very excited to see what the combo between the Scotsman and Brutus is going to be like with that Best Friends passive. If you go in, like I'm just going to keep saying, if you go and check out that Brutus video, you can see the potential of him without Scotsman. Then just figure out where it's going to be with the 200% attack boost. It's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, especially as we're going to be able to get a lot of the copies of Brutus, which is great. And the Scotsman, at least the first half of Best Friends on the passive is very early on, and it's not a percentage chance for it to happen. It is just slightly weaker. 100% attack buff is still really, really high. Okay, so we do get to see the Scotsman's leader skill, and it is all Outlanders Allegiance teammates get plus 45% attack. All other teammates get plus 35% attack. So quite a lot like the trader, where he's buffing his own allegiance much more than other teammates. So effectively he would be seen as like the Outlanders Allegiance leader. But if you are going to use other characters with him as well, at least they'll still get a pretty decent attack buff. And I can see a lot of people using like the Scotsman and Brutus together, as even as just a 2-man team right now. They seem to be the more offensive characters at the moment. Amani's much more defense team based by the looks of things. We'll have to see what the other characters are going to be like with the Outlanders, but they're going to get boosts from the Scotsman, and you never know. They could potentially bring more boosts to the table for the Outlanders Allegiance to make it just even more of a nice team to put together. We'll have to wait and see for that sort of combo, but the leader skill looks pretty decent, and Brutus will get a bigger boost to his base attack stat because of it. Now, as said in the intro, he does have an attached weapon. It is the Scotsman's Sturdy Hammer. It is a 4-star weapon, and it has got 35% attack base, 30% HP, and then it also has improved defense down plus attack down. When being attacked, a 60% chance to cause minus 35% defense and minus 35% attack to the attacker for the next 2 turns. Obviously, he is going to have to be attacked for this to happen. But if it does, it's nice that characters get defense down. He doesn't have any taunt in his kit, so that's going to be problematic potentially. Because he's the leader, that 4 slot, you're probably going to want to be 1535, regardless if you want to swap this weapon out or not. I would definitely say this is a good weapon to upgrade before you 5-star, because this 3rd slot is uncraftable. This is an improved version, you cannot craft it, so you never know when it could become useful. So this is Gold Mythic the Scotsman, and I think he's a pretty solid character as a support character, going to be very useful for you and your Brutus. I was initially a little disappointed on the fact that his rush would only be 75 AP if you didn't get him to, I believe, LB1 and above, and free-to-play is most likely going to get 2 copies of this character. But just check this clip out here. I did realise that because he takes damage on his signature move, he should gain AP from that. Signature moves normally only give 35 AP, but the Scotsman got 45 AP, and this is because he took percentage of his own health, and that still counts as AP gain on defense, even though he doesn't have an AP gain on defense weapon. But that potentially means you could put an AP gain on defense weapon in his hands to get a natural turn 2 rush. I remember some people did stuff like that on Tyrese, who didn't have the wacky Zashi that gave 20% base AP. They used AP on defense instead, and it was kind of like a cheat to get through like extra AP that way, and that will definitely work on the Scotsman. So you could potentially get that rush off turn 2 naturally, and that will be heavy amounts of defense down. If you're teaming them up the right characters, maybe like follow up or something like that, they're going to be getting big benefits because of that. And if not, it doesn't matter. You're potentially going to be getting high AP gain on someone like Brutus, and you could be able to nuke entire teams on that turn 2 as well. So that could be something, the way you do it, it's up to you. But like I say, the Scotsman looks like a pretty solid support character, and the team up of just the Scotsman and Brutus so far look very good. We'll have to see what the rest of the Outlanders Allegiance members bring to the table when it comes to the actual like Allegiance team and how good they would work together. But already, like I say, Brutus and Scotsman seem like a pretty good combo. Let me know your thoughts on the Scotsman in the comments down below, guys. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.